All right. You guys want to build houses?
Yeah.
What makes you think you guys could build houses? How many of you guys are building houses right now? How many of you guys are in construction right now? So about 6 of you guys? 7 of you guys? 8 of you guys? Oh, a few of you guys. Okay. How many of you guys have done fix and flips and remodels? Raise your hands. Okay. That's a horrible game, guys. I've done it. I know. It's a horrible game. Fix and flip is a horrible game, man. I don't understand. I don't get it. Airbnb is going to come back. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear what's happening with Airbnb?
Yeah.
The bill with the Airbnb is going to come back. Trump just signed a bill, and it's going to give a lot of incentives for short-term rentals and stuff. So that's going to come back. We'll see a spike in that. How long that'll last, I have no idea. But you know one thing I do know that's going to last? Housing. Housing is going to continue. It's going to last, guys. You know why? Population is growing. When I graduated from high school in 1992, the population was about 4 billion people. What's the population today? About 8 billion. So it's doubled, bro. It's doubled in 33. What is it? What's that been? 33? How long? 33 years ago? It's doubled. So in 33 years, when I'm in my mid 80s, the population will probably be someplace closer to about, well, at least 12 billion, maybe 16 billion, because we're like freaking rabbits, right? Just keep reproducing, right? So there's no shortage of opportunity in the housing market. And here's what's cool, guys. So one of the big things is like people are always looking for opportunities, right? Like if I told you guys, hey, I'm going to teach you guys how to get rich and how to do well building gingerbread houses, guess what you guys would be doing? Be building gingerbread houses, right? But if I tell you guys that you guys can do that in the construction industry, how many people are down to be able to deal with a little bit of stress and a little bit of work to be able to make some money, okay? Because it's a real business, guys. If I sat up here and told you that it was easy, I'd 100% be lying to you guys. Because it's work, guys. It's everything. But how many of you guys work hard already? How many of you guys already go to work and work hard? Okay? There's nothing different between what you're doing now and the stress you guys are encountering now and the shit I've been doing for 28 years, okay? So I've been self-employed for 33 years almost now, and I keep saying 32, and the days just keep plucking away, right? Can't even believe that it's already, we're going to be moving into September here in a few weeks. But the thing is, guys, how many of you guys are new following me that just in the last week found me? Raise your hands. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So those of you guys that are new following me, the reason I have the authority to talk about building houses and stuff is because I've been doing it. I'm not a social influencer, although we have a little bit over 1 million people that follow us nationwide, and we've done a good job doing it. We did this to be able to raise capital. I started in construction back in 1998, and it was at a time where last time I was here in Charlotte, Raleigh, we have a portfolio of about 85 single-family homes that we bought a few years ago. But here in Charlotte, the last time I was here is 1996, guys. So I'm back. I came back to Charlotte. We have a big community out here. In 1996, I was in here selling because I was in a multi-level marketing company called Equinox, selling water filters at the time that there was no bottled water on the shelves. And we used to tell people that you're going to pay more for bottled water than you do for gasoline. How much do you guys pay for a little bottle like this now? Go to the airport, it's like $3, right? But yet you go to the gas station, you complain about paying $3 for gasoline. All right, so we were right. And in 1995, we were the fastest growing privately held company in American history. It wasn't my company. I was just a distributor for that company. But I'll tell you guys that in 1997, we grew too fast. And because we grew too fast, the FTC came in. They shut us down in 1997, and I was lost because I went from making over 20 grand a month back in the 90s to zero overnight. And so we were just at 0.0. The good thing that I learned was how to build relationships and how to run a business. And so I started a concrete company on accident because of my brother-in-law. And I got into drywall and metal stud framing. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. So those of you guys that sit back and go, I don't know what I'm doing in construction, don't worry about it. I didn't either. In the first year in business, we did $1.7 million in business because I knew how to sell projects. Okay, that was it. And I just learned that I had to hire people that knew how to do things that I didn't. And so in 1998, we started a concrete company, and we did $1.7 million in business that very first year. And then in 1999, we started building houses. By 2001, I was building over 40 homes a year. And I did it with a 460 credit score. So some of you guys that are sitting back that are going, can I do this? Yeah, you guys can. Because when we got shut down by the FTC in 1997, I had 6 offices across the United States, one in Fairfax, one in Allentown, Pennsylvania, one in Albuquerque, New Mexico, one in El Paso, Texas, one in San Antonio, Texas, and one in Jacksonville, Florida. And all of them got shut down, and all the leases went delinquent. My stuff with Aaron's Rent and Best Buy all bad lines of credit, plus my credit cards. Guys, so for some of you guys that are sitting back that are feeling challenged right now, I'll share with you guys how to be able to do this and rebuild your credit, obviously, and how to build business lines of credit to be able to buy land and build houses, okay? Now, the biggest mistake most people make, and I'm just going to hit on this, so as we go through this today, you guys get a better understanding of how we do what we do. Everything that you do in business, ladies and gentlemen, is about leverage, okay? It's not about taking on bad debt on houses and cars and dumb shit, okay? How many of you guys follow my Instagram and my social platforms, guys? Raise your hands, okay. How many of you guys saw the cars and stuff that I just bought? You saw the Ferrari I just bought like 2 weeks ago? You guys see that G-Wagon we just brought home 2 days ago? That $250,000 G-Wagon? That thing's better than fuck. That thing's nicer than the Ferrari, man. I'll tell you that. That G-Wagon by far is better, nicer than the Ferrari. And here's what's cool, guys, is that's all dumb shit. But when you do things right, like I'll make money driving these cars. I just spent about $750,000 on cars in 2 weeks, and I'm going to spend another $500,000 on a Rolls Royce in the next 30 days, guys. So you guys will see me doing that. And you guys will sit back and go, why is this guy buying all these cars? Because I'll drive those damn things for free. They'll make me money, and those things will actually be a tax incentive for me. And so when you do things right, I'm going to talk about lending today. I'm going to talk about equity today, and I'm going to talk to you guys about leverage. The way wealthy people get wealthy, guys, is leverage, okay? And so when we come in, and I go through this stuff today, how many of you guys went through our U.S. education system? Raise your hands if you guys went through our U.S. education system. Okay. Raise your hands if you guys went. Keep your hands up, guys. Wake the fuck up. Come on, guys. I'm here for you guys. Wake up. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Let's go. Do a drill sergeant. Okay, cool. All right. How many of you guys are immigrants? Aren't from here? I'm not ICE, guys. You guys can raise your hands. I ain't gonna roll you out, man. Okay. Why'd you come to this country?
Well, I'm not. My mom.
Your mommy did? Why'd she bring you here?
Because she was living in poverty in Nicaragua.
Okay. So better opportunity?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Who else is not from here? How about you, sir? Why'd you guys come to this country? Ukraine. Did you guys come during the war?
No, we came in
05. In 05? Yeah, cool. You guys look very Americanized already. You know, my mechanics. I'm serious, man. You know what? I'll tell you guys. The Ukrainians, you guys are giving the Mexican population a run for their money as far as work ethic. I will put you out taking hands down. And I'll tell you guys this. We were up in Washington State, and the Ukrainians, our flooring guys, our drywall guys, came in, man, and just went to work, man. They just came in during the war, and those guys just work, man. They're just good dudes, and they just freaking work. My mechanic, my diesel mechanic, just a badass. He's a good dude. He'll come and fix my work trucks anywhere they're at. So God bless you guys, man, and God bless your country too. Hopefully Trump will be able to get some wisdom in your president's brain here in the next day or two. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Okay, who else? Who else is not from here? How about you, sir? Why'd you guys come to this country?
looking for a better opportunity.
Better opportunity, life, better life. Who else? Who's not from here? How about you, sir? Yeah, did you bring your family here? Yeah, your kids? Yeah, how are they doing? How old are your kids? Yeah, they're working. They're older. Okay, excuse me 1 second, guys. I got workers right here. Hey, Bodio. Good morning again. What's up? No, you guys go up to Rio Rancho first. Yes, all four. And then you guys come back and do that. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, we won't ask that anymore. I got crews going. All right, guys. So here's the thing. These immigrants that came from this, that are here today right now, I will put money on the fact. And here's why, guys, because when I go through stuff today, these guys will probably push forward quicker than people that are here from America. You know why? Because we spend 13,000 hours in an education system that not 1 hour teaches us about finances, about life, about how to go in and get lending and banking. People learn it through buying a home. It's called conforming lending. But most people never go in and they never take advantage of asset lending, commercial lending that goes in and allows you to leverage assets. It's the way banks work. Now, if you go to Las Vegas and you function like the house has a 4% leverage over the average person because they focus on a set of house rules. They're not building billion-dollar casinos, guys, because they're losing. Does that make sense? The reason that Las Vegas works, they're building these billion-dollar casinos, is that 4% leverage and the rules that they function on. How do lenders make money, guys? How do lenders make money? By lending money, right? Okay. Now, if we go in and we're looking at how they lend, if we do things the way the banks do them, how many people think we'll be more successful? Raise your hand. Yeah? How many people think you'll be more successful? Yeah? Hey guys, I'm here for free for you guys. How many of you guys, if you guys are going to participate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How many think they're going to be more successful? Say yeah.
Yes.
There we go. All right. I will pour the shit into you guys. If you guys aren't interested in building houses, get the fuck out. Look, guys, I'm already rich. I don't need to fucking be here. But I'm going to tell you guys something. If you guys want to learn how to do this stuff, pay attention. I'm not going to be forgiven. I'm going to be who I am. Do I have permissions, you guys, to be Jerome Maldonado? Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm not going to pretend I'm somebody I'm not. I'm going to cuss the way I cuss. I'm going to talk the way I talk. I'm going to walk the way I walk. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out. Period. Okay? Because I'm going to teach you guys shit today that you guys won't learn fucking anywhere else on this earth. Okay? Because people doing what I'm doing aren't doing this shit. Make sense? You guys want to build houses? Listen up. I'm going to show you how to get money. You guys want to build multifamily? Listen up. I'll show you guys how to get money. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's get down and dirty, guys. Everything we do in here focuses around the banks and lending. Why? Because everything we do revolves around what? Money. Period. Whether you like it or not, it revolves around money. So today we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about how to get money. We're going to talk about how assets secure money for you on the properties that you're buying, including land and including houses. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we go in, guys, there's a specific business model that I've been utilizing forever. Because the biggest thing is you could go out, you could build a house, and most people will sit back and they'll say, look, I'm going to play it conservative. And if I'm going to just do a small home, and I'm going to do something that's like $400,000, and I'll sit back and tell you, don't do it. It's too high risk. And I'm going to explain that to you guys today. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we go in, ladies and gentlemen, okay. So when we go in, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is this. Now, there's three different demographics that people are building in. There's 74% of our population. Now, this is our middle class, okay? We don't focus on this area at all. There's 2% that's our ultra wealthy. Okay, and then there's 24%, and this is our upper middle class. Okay, these two right here, we don't focus on. And here's why. The middle class, ladies and gentlemen, these are homes, the average median home is $420,000 nationwide. The reason we don't focus there is two reasons. When I underwrite this stuff for you guys today, you'll understand why we don't focus there predominantly. But when there's market volatility, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you guys do fix and flips again? Raise your hands if you do fix and flips. Okay, so if you guys do fix and flips, it's like playing Russian roulette is the way I explain the fix and flip game. You have a chamber with 6 bullets. You have a chamber with 6 chambers, 1 bullet. You sit back, you roll the dice, and you sit back and go, okay, I hope this fix and flip, I make $30,000, $40,000. And if you don't hit a bullet, you make it, right? But sooner or later, you're racing to be able to finish the fix and flip without blowing your brains out because you're sitting back going, how the hell do I get through this next fix and flip? Because if you go out and an electrical inspector shows up and they find your project, they make you redo all the electrical, right? They bring it up to code. That sinks $20,000, $30,000 of your money. Plumbing inspector comes out, and you're trying to sit back with the doors closed, no one finding out that you're not pulling permits and doing your fix and flip. How many of you guys ever done that before? Yeah? You know what game I'm talking about? Yeah, right? So you sit back, you try to go up to the inspector and say, oh, it was like this. Plugs hanging out of the walls. I was like, oh, no, it was like this. Right? And the inspector's like, okay, right? And you're trying to race to get finished on a fix and flip. That's this game right here, guys. Because this game right here will give you about a $40,000 profit. And when there's market volatility in the world, these people are 60 days away from delinquency. This is a real statistic, guys. 85% of the world's population, guys, 85% of the U.S. population, if they have a $500 variance in income, $500, guys, in 60 days, they'll be delinquent on their mortgage payment, their car payment, and their credit card payments. 60 days. They're 2 months away from being delinquent on everything that they have on a $500 volatility. So when there's market compression, this right here is where the market takes the biggest hit. These are the homes that land up getting price cuts. So when you guys are watching CNN, CNBC, Fox News, and all these news channels, when there's a market compression, that's the sector they're talking about. Okay? Now, the 2%, the reason we don't function there is because of how small it is. Okay? This is a very high-risk area. Now, if you hit that area at the right time, great, you'll make some money. But if the market shifts on you, these people are not buying homes in a time when there's market volatility. They're investing. They're buying the stuff up that everybody else is losing. Does that make sense? Wealthy people are smart, guys, and we want to teach you guys to be that smart. Now, this section right here, guys, is where we focus because it's a large enough demographics. These homes are between $600,000 and $1.5 million. These are the upper middle class. These are your doctors, attorneys. These are your engineers, your scientists. These are your self-employed people that own the small service stores, the restaurants, and the hotels, and those people in your cities. Now, these are also the people like our moms and dads, our grandparents that have worked a 30-year career. They've retired. They're either selling their home and buying their forever retirement home. And these are the people that are the empty nesters. These are the people that have expendable capital. So when there's market volatility, they don't like it, but they're still buying. And in fact, these people contribute out of the 18% of homes that are being purchased cash money right now, because 18% of homes are being purchased by cash. 16% of that 18% is being purchased by these people right here in the upper middle class. Because they've sold a home, they have the equity in that home, they buy another house cash. Does that make sense? Okay, this is the area that we've always functioned in. I didn't do this on purpose, guys. I did it on accident. I just happened, the very first house that I built happened to be an upper middle class house, and I always stayed there. And in the 2008 recession, my dad was an accountant for 32 years at our public service company. He did my books for over 20 years. And in 2008, when we hit the 2008 recession, what ended up happening is my dad that year in 2009, when he did my books and he was getting our 1099s together, he goes, I remember in January of 2009, he sat back, no, it was January of 2010, because the recession hit. How many of you guys lived through the 2008 recession? Okay. Now, not just lived through it, but lived and worked through it. Raise your hands. Okay. So we were immersed in it. And I'll tell you guys that the recession actually started talking about it in the summer, but it was like October, November, where I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, shit, man, we were building retail centers. They had halted my lending on one of my retail centers that I was building. And then another side sector of that same branch of that bank, but a different sector of it, was pushing us to break ground on an office condominium project that we were getting ready to take down. It was an $8 million build back in 2008. If I would have taken down that build, I would have went bankrupt for sure. And I was just got lucky in the fact that they had halted my construction loan on my retail center, $300,000 shy of the finished funding on that project. And so what ended up happening, guys, I remember this like vividly, as clear as day. There's some seats up here, guys. I got 1, 2, 3. I got a few seats up here. You guys are welcome to come up here and just fill in these last few seats, guys. Come on up here and fill them in, guys. There's a few seats up here. Come on up, guys. Okay? So I remember it vividly, guys. 2008, November, October, they started calling me and bothering me at the bank. November, it hit. December, January was temperature taking. I still remember sitting down. My son was born in January of 2008. And we were real methodical. You know, I was 34 years old at the time when we had my son. My son is now 17, he's going to be 18 in January. Graduated from high school. I can't even friggin' believe it. It's crazy. And I sit back and I remember going in, I remember saying, okay, we're going to kind of pull our foot off the pedal a little bit. I told my wife, and we're just going to enjoy being parents. And we're just going to go and we're going to raise our kids. I'm going to continue working, but I'm going to be home with them every morning. I'm going to go to the office about 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm going to be able to be home. And I still did that, but I had to do it slightly different. I was working a lot friggin' harder raising my kids at that time because we were already wealthy at that time. We were already worth someplace right around $20 million in 2008, probably half of that during the recession because of how values dropped. But I remember going back in, and I remember going through just sitting back during Christmas, January. I remember turning my wife. We had these French doors on our office that looked into our family room. And I remember spinning around in my chair, and I said, damn, babe. I said, look, I don't care if you're going to Neiman Marcus and buying one blouse, or you're going to Ross and buying 10 blouses. Don't friggin' buy them. Like, I have shit like set up like month per month because we were burning over $100,000 a month in just debt service. We called it trash can money, just on debt service on projects and bills and stuff like that. And I was sitting back, and I remember sitting back working my ass off between December, January, February, March, and then April rolled around. Shit, in December, January, guys, I remember our phones being so freaking quiet. I would go into the office and I'd pick up the phone and tell the girls, the phone's freaking working? Call Comcast or call. It was like that quiet. Like, those phones freaking working? Because you go in our office and it was like music. It goes on ding, 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 all like they are today. But I remember we did 57 homes that year prior, guys. And we had the concrete company, and we had our restaurants, and we had all kinds of stuff going on. It was nuts in our office. It was like crickets, man, in our office, not a freaking phone ringing. I'd go to Home Depot and I'd sit back and go, damn, I wish I had something to buy here today. Like, literally would tell myself that. You go to job sites, and now you hear the saws and the hammers, pop, 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 pop. You hear that shit going? That's like music to my ears. Because I remember walking through those subdivisions in January 2009, it was freaking dead. Not a damn thing going on. Not a hammer going, not a saw. You guys remember that? This guy's sitting back, well, I remember that shit. And you're sitting back thinking about this. I'm going, I don't know how many months we can handle this. And so I remember working my ass off, literally bidding jobs 24/7 around the clock, guys. And so we get to about March, and we see a little forgiveness, like in March of 2009. April 2009, I remember going to Breckenridge and going hitting the mountain and snowboarding. I told my wife, we're going to freaking make it through this shit. By the hair on our chinny chin chin, we're going to make it through this stuff. And we got this close, man. I think if we went 60 more days, we would have had to decide which properties we were willing to give back to the banks. That's how close we got on our retail center. So we learned a lot during that time frame. And then at the end of the year, my dad told me, I remember, when we got into February of 2010, I remember my dad telling me, he said, Jerome, he goes, you better have some money set aside because you got a big tax bill coming in April. And I said, there's no way, Dad. I said, we took a sponge on every friggin' house. I fire sold everything. He goes, no, you didn't. You made money on every single house. I said, Dad, there's no friggin' way. I sold everything super cheap. And so we anteed everything up, guys. The smallest profit that we made on a single family build, $48,000 that we made on one build. The second lowest profit was $52,000. Every other build, aside from that, we made over $70,000 at a time when there was a housing crisis. So in February of 2010, I remember sitting back and I went to every single subcontractor and I said, hey guys, we're going to build, but we're going to do it my way. We're going to go in, we're going to restructure this thing. You guys aren't going to bid my projects. I'm going to tell you what I can afford. If you can do it, great. You say yes. If you can't, I respect it. God bless you. You go out and good luck with your business. Every single contractor that said yes is still in business today. Some of them are trying to retire today because it's already been 17 years post-recession, right? Some of them are trying to retire. But every single one of them is still in business. The other ones, I don't know if they're in business or not. Most of them went out of business. Does that make sense? And so that business model, guys, we continue to exercise and we still utilize today. And I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Is that okay?
Yes.
If it worked through a housing crisis and we made money, it'll work for you guys today. Okay, now, I want you guys to think real quick. Where here in Charlotte, do you guys have people that are moving? Like, if you're brand new, you're moving to Charlotte. Like, if Jerome Maldonado wants to move to Charlotte, I don't want to go, I'm not going to go to the wealthiest neighborhood, but I want to go to a neighborhood that has the better schools. I love ATVs. We have ATVs, horses. I grew up with horses and cattle. I want an area where I have open space. I don't want to live by some broke ass fool that's in a trailer next to me being an idiot. I want to be by somebody else that doesn't even bother me. They don't want to be bothered either. They're an acre away from me, 2 acres away from me, and I don't have to look in their windows. Guys, where do I move? Better schools, Midland, better schools, better affluency, better place to live, no crime. Where do I live? Where at? Vaxfield. Spell it.
W-A-X-H-A-W.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, where else?
Midland.
Midland.
Belmont.
Is there new construction happening in these ones? These
Yes.
areas? Okay, Belmont, you said?
Belmont.
Belmont?
Weddington.
Where's that one?
Weddington.
Where's Belfort?
W-E-D-D-I-N-G-T-O-N.
Valentine.
Weddington or Bennington?
Weddington.
Okay, it's close enough, guys. I know there's no spelling teachers in here. If they are, we make more.
Cheryl's Ford.
Cheryl's?
Cheryl's Ford.
Cheryl's Ford? With an S?
Yep.
Okay. Now,
Oh, in Harrisburg. the money one.
Harrisburg?
Yes.
Valentine.
Okay, now, guys, don't get caught up on all of this, guys, and I want to explain this. I always have one person in the audience that tries to challenge me on this. Don't challenge me on this, guys. I do this nationwide, man. I'm building in 11 different cities, and I have a community of thousands of people nationwide that are already building here and all over the place, guys. I want you guys to understand something here, okay? Because I'm sharing with you guys a business model that you guys can implement. So what I'm really trying to express to you guys is to go into the areas that are more affluent, guys. Are there $1 million homes in every single one of these areas right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there? Okay. Now, in these areas, guys, just on average, what do you think the average lot costs? Doesn't matter the size of the lot, just the average lot. What is the average price of those lots? 70 to 110? How many people think there may be more?
I say more.
More.
Like 150?
Yeah.
Okay, 150, so 70 to like 150, 300? So, okay, you guys hearing this? There's a whole diversification, right? Some people are saying 70, some people are saying 110, some people are saying 150, some people are saying 300,000. Okay, now, there are micro markets in every single market. Does that make sense? There's micro markets. You can go 1 mile down the street and there's a different micro market right down the road. Where I build predominantly right by my house, like literally 5 minutes down the road from my house, I build. And I moved to that area because when I started building, I was like, damn, it's nice up here in the mountains. Population is like nothing. And I was like, shit, I'm just going to come in and buy some land and develop it. Other people have to want to live up here. And when we did it, I checked comps and everything that I'm telling you guys. But I had built in one area pre-recession that I stayed in for over a decade and a half. And we crushed it in this one little 1 mile radius. Now that city had about 350,000 people in it. So it had a little bit more population. In that city, I still have students building it today, but I no longer build it because I moved to this other municipality that the population literally is like 2,000 people. But it's just right up on the base of the mountain. I kind of own the whole area there. And when I came in, nobody was building there. And then we came in and we built hundreds and hundreds of homes there over the last decade, over the last 17 years. And so when we go in, guys, what I always tell people is you got to look at this from a percentage standpoint, okay, in these micro markets. When you go into these micro markets, never pay more than 15 to 20% for the land, okay? Never pay more than 15 to 20% for the land, okay? So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you go into an area, pull out your phones, guys. Pull out your phones. Everybody pull out your phones real quick. I'm going to have you guys participate, and I'm going to have you guys do the math for me as we run through this, okay? Now, when you guys go in, let's say we're selling an $800,000 house, and houses are comping out $800,000. What is 17% of 800,000? 136. Okay, that's the maximum amount you can pay for your land. That's the maximum amount you can pay for your land. It doesn't matter what the hell they're asking for the land. They can ask $200,000 all day long. Nobody's going to buy that shit. No builder's going to buy it. Because anybody that's sophisticated and understands it, the reason that land is still in the market is because it's overpriced. And nobody smart is going to buy that piece of land. And that's the reason it's on the market. So that seller has two choices, guys. They either have the ability to negotiate and work with you so they can sell the land, or they just keep it. Does that make sense? And I tell them that.
Is it a pad-ready lot or?
What's that?
Is it a pad-ready lot or just raw?
Just raw land, but it has to have utilities. Now, that's what I was getting at right now. Now, that does include the utilities. So, for sake of example, the maximum amount you could be into a lot is 20%. That includes water, gas, electric at the lot, guys. Now, if you have to extend it to your house, you're going to spend a little, you might spend $2,000 extending gas. That's included in your build cost. You might have to pay for a water meter that costs you $2,000. That's included in your bill cost. You may have to put a septic tank in that lot that costs you $10,000. That's included in your build cost. But the water, if you have to drill a well and spend $30,000, that's not included in your build cost. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you have to run a transformer down the road to put power on that lot, that's not included in your build cost. Does that make sense? You have to have power on that lot, and your max into that lot has to be no more than 20%. Make sense? Yeah. If you don't have power, you go in and you buy this lot, you have to subtract the cost of what it's going to take you to get the power there. That's going to be your price of the lot. So if your lot is 137, but it's going to cost you $15,000, you can't pay more than $117,000 for that lot. Does that make sense? Because the difference is going to be the variance of what it's going to cost to get the power there. Okay? Now, don't worry about all of that logistics now. That's why you guys are here today, okay? Look, guys, we put an education system together that people are crushing it nationwide. I did this to raise capital. I had no idea that I was gonna have people that were building houses, guys. I did it. It's been pretty cool. We've changed a lot of lives. I got some students that are here that are part of our community that are kicking ass. I'll introduce you guys to a few here in a little bit, but it's really cool. So that they're being able to come in and implement the business model that we've been utilizing forever, okay? Now, when we go in, let's say, for example, that these homes are selling for between what price, guys, in these areas? What are the resale prices of these homes in these areas?
$500,000 up.
Yeah, 700 to 1.5.
To 1.5? Okay. So let's see. Let me look at it real quick. Homes for sale for $1 million in Belmont, Charlotte, North Carolina.
What's this Belmont?
Yeah, I know. It'll pick it up though.
Okay.
Yeah, Belmont is the first one that comes up. Let's look at Redfin. Okay, so Belmont, 974 for a 3,000 square foot house, 3,093 square feet, new construction. Over at 913 Van Every Street in Charlotte, new construction, 2,990 square feet, $899,000. Smaller, $1.29 million new construction, 3,600 square feet over at 805 East 19th Street, $1.2 million, $1.195 million, 3-bed, 4-bath, 3,100 square foot house over at 1119 North Meyer Street, Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so you guys have a lot. Shit, these ones are good. $680,000 for a 1,700 square foot house, $624 for a 1,700 square foot house.
So there's
Okay.
a different Belmont area, I think that it has picked that, so there is a bigger suburb. So there is a little small Belmont area.
Yep.
I think that's what's it picked, but people were talking about a different Belmont, bigger suburb area.
Yeah, it's going to be, here's the thing, guys. What I'm looking for is I'm looking at price per square foot. There's two things I'm looking for. How many of you guys are realtors in here? Real estate agents, real estate brokers. Okay, so I'm looking for two things. I'm looking at the highest price per square foot, and I'm looking for days on the market. Okay, those two things. Highest price per square foot and days on the market. Now, what I like to see is I never will build anywhere where I can't confirm that I can get a minimum of $275 per square foot. Okay, this is abbreviation per square foot. Now, that's even pushing it, guys. If I get over $300+ a square foot, I know I'm going to make some money. Okay. Now, where I build, I usually sell for $330. Now, I'll tell you guys, there's some real affluent areas. Like I build in Kirkland, Washington. In Kirkland, Washington, our houses are selling for like $600 a square foot. Now, so there's a little bit of difference. We're selling 1,500 square foot called cottages. They're condos that we're selling these things for in excess of 1.2 million, between 1.2 and 1.4 million dollars. Right? That's just the market up in Kirkland, Washington, Seattle area. Right? But on average, guys, even here, if you guys can get over $300 a square foot, you're going to make some money. Okay? Now, when we go in and we look at this, guys, we're looking, because if you look at these prices per square foot, look even these little ones, $799, 2,012 square feet. So $800,000. So $800,000 divided by 2,012, that's $397 a square foot is the resale price of that home. Guys, that house is over at,
But what's your bill for the square foot?
I'm going to go over that right now. Okay. We go in 620 for 1,700 square feet for $625,000. So 625. So we go 625,000 divided by 1,707. $366 a square foot. Okay. On the resale price. You guys have no lack of affluency here in Charlotte. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. If we can make a profit, guys, because your cost to build here in Charlotte is no different than what we're doing even in Phoenix, what we're doing in New Mexico, what we're doing in Desert Hot Springs, California. There is no difference on the price per square foot to build. Make sense? Now, when we go in, let's say that we go in and we take one of these houses and we take a house that's $900,000 resale price. Okay. How many people are intimidated by a $900,000 investment, guys? Be honest. Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you guys are intimidated by it? Be honest. Raise your hand, guys. Okay. Okay. Don't, because how many guys would feel way more comfortable with a $400,000 first investment? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now I'm going to ask that same question in about 30 minutes from now. Okay. And let me explain banking and stuff to you guys. Okay. $900,000. This is your resale price. Okay, 900,000. Now, how many of you guys have an expendable? If you do 900,000, let's take 17% of that for land. Okay, so if you guys have, we take 900,000 times 0.17, that's $153,000 for the land. Okay, so let's say our land cost, what did I say, 153? 153. Land is equal to $153,000, 153K. Okay? Yeah, shit, take it at 20%, guys. What's 20% of that? So 900,000 times, what's that, 180? It's 180. Okay, so let's do 180. Okay, let's do 180,000. Let's push my business model, guys. I'm gonna stress my business model. Okay, so let's take $180,000 for the land. Now, according to the National Association of Home Builders, the national average to build a house nationwide is $141 per square foot. Okay, that's your raw build cost. Now, most of you guys aren't contractors. You're gonna have to hire a contractor. The houses that we build are very nice, and so you guys, if you guys go in, they're attractive homes. I have a couple that are sitting on the MLS ready to get posted. I wish I'd had those up. I was supposed to put them up yesterday, but I didn't have a chance to have my office finish the listings. But we have 2 of them going up for sale right now. They're gorgeous. You guys need to see them. If you guys follow my stories, you guys will see those on my stories, on the ones we have listed. I stopped building homes in 2018 because I was just building multifamily. But then we started doing this, and I said, well, shit, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm just going to build 2-3 homes a year because we're teaching people how to build houses. So if you guys have been following my stuff, you guys see that every year I do about 2 houses a year, and I only do them for you guys. But I still make about 300 grand per house, so don't feel sorry for me. You know, we'll make an extra 600 grand. It's just extra money, and it really is just like extra money for us, and it's cool. So we'll just build them, and it's great because it documents the process for you guys, and it shows you guys and gives affirmation that what we're telling you guys to do, we're doing the same shit. Make sense? Okay. Now, when we go in, guys, Google like the one that we just sold, 301. You guys can Google this. 301 NM for New Mexico, 165 in Placitas. And just look at that house, guys. Let me give you guys one in Kirkland, Washington. We just finished our Kirkland Cottage community up in Kirkland, Washington. And let me give you guys one that's 301 NM, just from New Mexico, NM 165. So it's like New Mexico Highway 165. And then let me give you guys one and I'll show you guys what we're doing. And it's very similar, guys, in Placitas, New Mexico. Let me show you guys in Kirkland, Washington. Guys, look at that one. And then let me give you guys another one here so you guys can look at the trim out. We built that house for $155 a square foot as the GC, guys. So I want you guys to see. Now, when we go in, let me give you guys the address to this other one. Okay, so docs. Okay, go ahead and Google 8209 Northeast, just NE, 124th Street. So 8209 N Northeast, 124th Street, Kirkland, Washington. Yep, Kirkland, Washington. What's that?
Are you building Charlotte as well?
We have community that builds in Charlotte. We don't build in Charlotte. Yeah, I don't build here in Charlotte. I'll never build in Charlotte. It's too far for me. If I can't fly here in a few hours, I'll never build. Although I did build in Puerto Rico, and I do have stuff down in Miami, and we do have stuff in Puerto Rico. But those are like big multi-million-dollar builds. If you guys have been following my stuff during COVID, while everybody was in hibernation, I was flying all over the country, man. The airports were empty. It was perfect, man. I was flying out. We were doing warehouses in DeKalb, Illinois. We were doing warehouses in Virginia, and I was building mansions down in Puerto Rico at that time. Now, when we go in, guys, and we do this, let's say that this house is $900,000, and the houses are selling at. Let's just even stress the business model a little bit more, okay? If we come in, guys, and we have $900,000 house, and we're building at $300, $320 a square foot. Let's call it. I want to stress it a little bit. So let's say it's 2,500 square foot home. Okay, so a little bit bigger than what these homes are selling for out here. So let's say 2,500 square feet. Okay, so we'll say 2,500 square foot home. Okay.
160 was your.
165. Let's press it a little bit. Let's go $165 a square foot. Let's press it at 165. So 425?
412.5.
412.5. Okay, so $413,000. Okay, so this is our build cost, guys. Okay, so our build cost is $413. Now, This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what you're gonna need to get a loan on, okay? Now, here's the goal, guys. Let me just write this up here. Here's the goal. Okay? This is your goal right here. Okay? And the reason why, Miami, September 27th to 28th, that's your goal. I have an underwriting workshop that I do. I do them for you guys. When we do these workshops, guys, I only do them once every like 3-4 months. And when we come in and we do these workshops, guys, they're full underwriting workshops to teach you guys how to go in and underwrite these for the bank. Because everything that I'm talking about right now has to do with lending. Okay? It all has to do with lending. Now, when we go in, guys, you guys are going to have to underwrite this bill. Now, we're going to need $593,000, $593K from the bank. Okay? This is from the bank that we're going to need this. Because how many of you guys have an extra $180,000 sitting around? Raise your hand if you have an extra 180 grand. Okay? So one person. Okay? Cool. We're going to hijack you in the parking lot. So when we go in, guys, the biggest goal is to have this paid for by the bank. Okay? Having enough equity in that bill to be able to go in and pay for that. Okay? So this is what we need from the lender. Now, there's going to be 2 more additional costs. One is closing costs. What is 6% of $900,000, guys? What is it? $35,000? No, it's not 35. It's like 70 something. How much? 54,000. Okay, that's all right. 54K. That's our closing cost. Then our lending costs, our debt service. This right here, guys, our debt service is the single most important thing that most people forget. The debt service is going to be about $30,000, guys. About 30K. Okay? Now, you're going to have probably about $10,000 in fees and about $20,000 in interest. Now, when you get a construction loan, guys, what ends up happening is the banks just don't go put $593,000 in your bank account, and they don't start charging you interest on that. They escalate. So they'll go in, they'll give you a draw for like $180,000 to be able to go in and buy your land. Then your next draw is your dirt work and your foundation. Then maybe you go in, you get through framing. And then you get another draw when you get your lumber package, your framing. Then you get another draw with your electrical rough in, your plumbing rough in, and your mechanical rough in. And so as you go in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days into your bill, your draws continue to escalate. Does that make sense? And so the cost for your debt continues to grow as your bill grows. But they don't just start charging you debt on that amount immediately. But you do have to cover it. So you'll have about $30,000 in debt service. So your total cost, guys, your total cost is $593. So what is that? 600? That's 600 and what is it? 70? 77? Yep, 677K. Okay. Now we subtract that from $900,000. What is that, guys? $223,000. That's your net profit, guys. Okay. Okay. Now there's something very important you guys have to pay attention to here, because I'm going to underwrite a safe $450,000 bill. Yes, sir.
Does 165 square foot include the bill market?
It will, yeah, because we'll teach you guys. It's called the process of 30. So one of the things, the way you hire contractors, is 3 different ways. And here's the biggest mistake most people make, guys, is they'll go in, they don't have a lot, they don't have a set of plans, and they'll go talk to a contractor. Okay, think about it from a contractor's perspective. If I come to you and I say, hey, will you build a house for me? Will you build a house for me? You don't even know what that is. Okay, if you build a house for me, how much will you charge me to build my house? Fuck a lot, right? Right? So I tell you guys, you don't be talking to banks and you don't be talking to contractors until you have a set of plans. Make sense? Yeah. If you don't have a lot, you don't have a set of plans, you don't have no business talking to a bank or a contractor, okay? Everything that we teach, guys, everything. You have to trust the process, guys, the process of building. And when you guys go in, one of the things that you have to do is you have to go through the process. The process of entitlements. One is you got to get a survey company. Okay? Number 2, you got to get an architect. And number 3, you got to get your engineers. You're usually a civil engineer for grading and trading and a structural engineer. All of this together is going to cost you right around $15,000. This is your cost out of pocket, okay? This can be replaced, but this is your cost out of pocket. By the time you tie up the land, put $5,000 in escrow, pay $5,000 to your architect, another $3,000 to your civil engineer, another $2,000 to your survey company for a topographic survey and a boundary survey, you're gonna be about $15,000 out of pocket in order to get permits. Now, this will do two things for you. One, it'll get you a loan, and it'll get you permits. Without these two things, you can't build. This right here will get you money to build. Make sense? That's your out-of-pocket cost. It's gonna cost you about that, okay? Now, we will work with you guys on that, because we have affiliate bridge lenders that are expensive, but it's $15K. So in the overall scheme of things, it's very little. Now,
This cost goes on top of the land, right?
what's that?
So this cost is on top of 180, plus 50.
It's your total build cost. This will get absorbed, your soft cost will get absorbed in your build cost. Okay, so I have all of that absorbed right here in this $413,000. Okay, it's all absorbed right in there. Okay, now, when we go in, guys, we have $223,000 in profitability. Now, I want to, before I explain the $450,000 build, I want to explain one other thing to you guys. Okay, the single most important thing that you guys need to learn, and you guys will need, is this spreadsheet right here. Okay, this spreadsheet right here, you can't get money without it, guys. The banks need this. You cannot get money without it. The reason that I do these workshops is for you guys, not for me. I do these workshops for you guys I've only done 4 in history, right? So I shouldn't even say like I do them, because I know that we're not going to do another one until 2026. The one in Miami is the last one for this year. The only reason I'm doing it that weekend, guys, truth be told, is because if you guys know anything about me and you guys follow me, I do 100% everything I do around my family. If it doesn't revolve around my kids and my family, I don't freaking do it. And my son starts football this Saturday, and it's his first game. They did a scrimmage last week, and his only bye week is that weekend, the 27th and 28th. It's the only weekend I have. They will go to the state finals, and the chance of them winning is pretty fucking good. And so the only weekend that I'll do the workshop is that weekend, because it's the only bye week that I have, and then I'm done. Everything else is football. Sorry, guys, I love you guys, but my family's first, and their sports come first. If you guys know my family, my wife and I are both Division I athletes, and my kids, my son's already signed to go play college ball. Okay? And so, you know what we do in our family? We fucking win. You know why? Because that's the way we raise our family. You know what you guys need to do in your families? You need to fucking win. You know, period. And that's it. My daughter, she's a fucking beast. She's a 2-time nationally ranked gymnast. My son's a 2-time nationally ranked gymnast. And my son is first team All-State, first team Metro, first team District, first team All-State, and the Offensive Player of the Year. He has a Division I scholarships to play football all over the country, and he's only been playing football for 5 years. Okay? Why? Because what we do, guys, fucking works, period. The way I run my life, the way I run my kids, the way I run my business, the way I run everything we run, we win. And I don't do anything unless we win, period. Okay? Some people say, I hope I win. I don't hope I win. I fucking win, period. Make sense? Seriously. You guys call it ego, whatever you want. I fucking win, guys. You guys want to win? Hang out with me a little bit. Okay? I don't give a shit about anybody's skepticism. I'm like, shit, I have nothing to prove to any of you guys. But I will tell you guys this. September 27th and 28th, I'm going to go through this spreadsheet inside and out. This spreadsheet will make you money, okay? The bank will not give you money. There's nothing you'll miss on this spreadsheet. My dad and I built this in 1998. It's evolved over the years. We went through every single line item. We give you this electronically where you can white label it and you can put your company name right on the top of this spreadsheet, and it has every single line item that you need in order to go out and get lending, okay? Now, on this spreadsheet, ladies and gentlemen, on that spreadsheet, you're going to have the cost of the land is going to be your first item. The dirt work, the foundation, your framing package, your framing labor, your plumbing, your mechanical, your electrical, your HVAC, everything, all the way down. Your roofing, your cabinets, your doors, your flooring, all the way down, all your costs. And you're going to have one for you, and you're going to have one for the bank. Okay? Now, the way you get this land paid for is you're going to go in, for you, you're going to underwrite this at $593,000. Okay? This is your execution amount. Okay, is that $593,000? The bank, we have a $900,000 asset, guys. The bank is going to give you 75 to 80% of that, unless you're doing what's called an owner build. How many of you guys would love to be able to do this as an owner build where you are able to go in and you're able to take advantage of doing it with less than 5% down? Good. Okay, cool. Now, when we go in, guys, and we do this, you can go in and do it 5% down with an FHA loan. Okay?
Is that only to the owner?
That's if you're doing an owner build. Okay? That's if you're doing the owner build. Okay?
Or are they gonna stay there?
Guys, come fill these seats. I need some positive energy right there. Those two were the freaking, that was the worst energy. Negative energy like sucks you in. I was like, fuck, leave. And they left. I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, there's still those two people right there. I was like, fucking leave. You know? Cool, fill those in. Okay.
So that owner build, you have to stay there 2 years?
The owner build, you have to stay there for 2 years. If you do. Now, life does happen, okay? Life does happen. Like I had a firefighter that came in, worked for me, did an owner build, and then COVID hit. And then he came in, and as a firefighter, he wasn't getting the overtime hours during COVID that he was getting, so he couldn't afford the house anymore to live there. So he sold it, and he goes, oh, he only made $290,000 a year. So he sold it before he even moved into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is you have to perform, okay? But if worst case scenario, he didn't get the tax incentive, so by doing an owner build, you stay there for 2
Yeah.
years, you get to do it tax-free. Make sense?
I have
Okay.
one other question on the first three, where you do the survey or architectural.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a position where you put out all the money and then the house didn't work?
Not on a house. I've done it on multifamily where I've put out $500,000 and it didn't go,
Okay.
okay? I wish I'd only had that much out. I
Yeah.
put $500,000 out before, and then the deal didn't go.
Because it's a lot of work.
No, on houses, no, I've never done. Well, I shouldn't say that. In Kirkland, Washington, I have a lot. The first lot we built. And if you guys follow like my stories, the first lot I bought in Kirkland, Washington was on this weird corner. And they needed me to tear down these trees, but they wouldn't let me tear down the trees because they were healthy and they were 150 years old. And because of these trees, I had to put a road in right where these trees went. So I was like, okay, I have to put the road in for one department, but the other department doesn't allow me to take the trees out, but I can't make the road around the trees. So it took us 4 years to negotiate around this fucking tree.
Wow.
And so we were gonna do 6 homes on it. We landed up with 3 homes on it. It took us 6 years on that one piece of land. So we built 24 other homes, did a $24 million project around this first lot we built. We're barely building. Now we've got 3 homes up. But instead of building 3 like 1,700 square foot homes, we're building 3 like 2,700 square foot homes. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So they went, and we probably wasted,
Yeah.
I don't know, $40,000-$50,000 redoing architecture. So it happens, but don't feel sorry for us because the profitability is just so much better. Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll help you mitigate that on your first build. Your first build, this is what's important, guys. This right here. You guys see this? This is what's important right here. It's your very first build. Okay? Your very first build. That's what's important, guys. Okay, now, when we go in, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go in, we have the exact same cost for the bank. But the bank, we're gonna go in, we're gonna underwrite this at retail at $900K, okay? Because the bank is looking at this as an asset, guys. They're looking at this as an asset, and it's all based on comps. So if we go in, we do our homework first, everything is comp-based, guys, everything is comp-based. The banks are looking at the comps. And if the banks can affirm the comps, the banks you already know, you did your homework, you ran your comps, you know this house is worth $900K because we ran the same comps. We're within 1 mile radius. We've looked at comps within 6 months to a year. We know we're within 300 square feet of whatever we're building on our square footage. When people sit back and they go, what do I build? You build exactly what's selling for the least amount of days on the market and the highest price per square foot. Does that make sense? Now, if there's a high price per square foot, but the house sat for 300 days, guess what I do, guys? I sit back and I look at the next highest price per square foot on the lowest days on the market. Because if one house sat for 300 days and one house sat for 60 days, guess which house I'm building? It's the one for 60 days. Because moving money is good money. Does that make sense? You never want to get caught up on stagnant money, guys. Never. You want to keep your money moving. So if you go back in and you have a house a price per square foot that's sold for a great price per square foot, but they had to find the right buyer, don't build that. You build a house that has the least amount of days on the market and the highest price per square foot. That'll guarantee your profitability.
That amount of days is, you have a cap in the ideal amount
And I
of
do
days.
count, and I've sat on homes for a year before. You know, when I've jacked kitchens up and just done shit over the years. Now our houses typically sell within 60 days or less. Most of the time, like this house that I have going up now, I guarantee the first person who sees that house will fucking buy it. When you guys see it, it's 10 basket weaver. Look for it in the next few days. Write down, it's 10 basket, like a basket weaver. It's all one word. Basket weaver, and it's in Placita, the same area. That house is almost 100 grand more than that other house you guys looked at. It's the same size house and everything. We'll make more money on that house. That house is dialed in. That house will sell to the first person who looks at it. unless the first person's broke. But the first capable buyer will buy that house, okay? And we just hit it, like, I just know it, I just feel it, like, when I hit a house, I'm like, damn, I finished the house, I'm like, damn, this is a nice freaking house, right? Like, we staged it, I was like, this thing's gonna freaking sell, okay? But 60 days, guys, is about what most homes will take. Okay, now, when we go in, guys, $900,000. Now, if we take even 75% of that and we don't do FHA, if we just get a normal investment loan for 75%, what's 75% of $900,000, guys?
675.
How much?
675.
675. So the bank is willing to give you $675,000 on a loan. Okay? Now the bank is sitting in a good position because the bank still has $225,000 in collateralization on a finished asset once it graduates to that, right? Because they're not just going to give you all that 675. We don't need 675 though. We need 593. And here's what's cool, guys. How many of you guys are worried about the interest payments on the loan? Okay, so if you're worried about the interest payments, they do what's called interest reserve. So what they're going to do is they're going to do a reduction in proceeds for the amount of your interest. So if you have $30,000, they're going to do a reduction of proceeds from the 675 of $35,000. So they're going to give you $635,000 in proceeds. This will be your proceed amount. The other $35,000 will be what's called interest reserve. That means you don't have a payment on that. They will just take that off the back end, and when you close out on that construction loan, they'll give you that minus your interest reserve, and whatever you don't use, they give you a credit back for at closing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you only need 593. You don't spend the extra $40,000. You just leave it there. That's called your contingency. Just leave it there. Okay. Now, when we go in and we look at this, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you guys want to build a $450,000 home? How many of you guys want to build a $450,000 home? Better. Okay, well, let me show you. Well, we'll just wait until after I show you this. Okay, so let's check this out, guys. And I tell you guys, when you guys come in, let's build the same house, but let's even make it more conservative, guys.
Maybe you start with a $400,000 home?
No,
So
no,
are you
no,
doing all the
no,
work on
no,
the lot
no,
before
no,
you buy it?
no, I ain't listening to you. Okay?
So
me
you don't
show you
own
what-
the lot when you're
No,
going to the bank.
what, when we go in, guys, we don't what now?
You
Sorry.
don't own the lot when you're going to the bank. You own the lot, and you're waiting for that.
No, you don't. You just go in and tie it up, guys. We're doing this right now. Like, I've been doing this with my students, and my students complicate this stuff, even when you guys are part of our program. So I sit back and I go, look, guys, don't complicate this. So I'm taking on people at home, right there, right by me. I took my son's football coach, Keith Ridenhour, and I can't post it. This school, you guys believe this shit? He's gonna make like $200,000 in this house, and I've been posting on social media. The principal calls him in. He's an assistant principal. He's had like 11 state championship titles, guys. He's a freaking beast of a coach. He was a college coach, and then he landed up, in the college world, things evolve, and they fire you, hire you in different universities. He got sick of the moves. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to retire. Working as a high school coach. He came back as a high school coach. God bless his heart, because he's a freaking beast, man. He's doing my son's a badass. And he's building a house right now under our program, guys. He's going to make $200,000. Principal calls him in and says, I heard you're building a house. And they all know me because I donate to the school and I do a bunch of stuff at the school. And so they all know me and they love us. But they go, I heard you're building a house. And they like reprimanded him for building a house. And he's like, you're even affecting his school. They'll still win a state championship. What kind of bullshit is that?
That's
Right? That's bullshit, right? So I went through this lending process with him. And it's hard for him. So I got to live it through Heath. I got to live it through Coach Ridenhour, where he was like, he kept going to the bank. And I go, bro, you ain't fucking ready. I tell you. Heath, you're not ready, man. Like, stop going back. He came back and goes, hey, my wife scolded me last night. He goes, I told her that you scolded me. He goes, I got scolded twice. He goes, I've never gotten scolded twice in one day since I've been in college in football. He goes, you scolded me. I went home and told my wife you scolded me. Then she scolded me and told him, why aren't you listening? And why aren't you paying attention to what Jerome's telling you? And he kept going to the banks. He went to 16 banks, guys, got 16 no's. Okay? And I go, bro, what are you doing going to the bank? You're not ready to go to the bank. I told Heath. And I go, bro, lay off the bench. So I just want to guarantee I'm getting money. I said, bro, you'll get the fucking money. Listen, you'll get the money. You ain't ready. Then when we finally got entitlements, he calls me and he goes, hey, Jerome, is it okay if I start talking to the banks now? And I was like, yes, you can go to the banks. So out of the 16 banks, he went. I go, now I don't know where to go. I said, go back to all 16 banks. that you talked to. 4 of them told him yes. 4. Okay, 4 out of 16. The other ones this just isn't their business model. They don't give construction loans, right? They don't do owner bills. They don't give construction. They just don't fit the business model. Not every bank is going to do that. But when you guys go, guys, to the bank and you guys do this, watch, check this out. If you guys just go. Local, regional, and community banks and credit unions in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tell me if you guys recognize any of these credit unions and stuff, guys. Nova Credit Union, Piedmont Advantage Credit Union, Latino Community Credit Union, Trulient Federal Credit Union, Carolinas Telco Federal Credit Union, Tellient Federal Credit Union, Charlotte, United Community, Carolina Cooperative Federal Credit Union, Self-Help Credit Union, Home Trust Credit Union, Self-Help again, Skyla Credit Union, Legacy Federal Credit Union, Civic Credit Union, Charlotte Fire Department Credit Union, Blue Flame Credit Union. You guys hear of any of these? You guys familiar with any of these? There's a ton, guys. There's more. So if you guys go to all those, there is a credit union that specializes in owner bills and community banks that specialize in this stuff. You guys might have 2/3 of them that say no, but the vast majority of them they'll lend to you. Then when we got to 4 with Heath, I went to Heath and I said, hey, Heath, now let's look at the terms. And one of them, they were going to fund the contractor, not him. And I said, X amount. I said, you don't want a contractor, if you have to fire and shit down that contractor for whatever reason, you don't want them to control your money, get rid of that bank. So that bank was a requirement. We said, you're gone. Okay, we had 3 lenders. Okay, the other lender was just really difficult. So I said, just X amount, bro. And then we went to 2 other credit unions, and those other 2, it was just, he just liked the guy better. I said, just go with a guy that's cool. He landed up with this guy named Enrique that he really liked. And I said, bro, go with him. He's cool. He'll have your back. If you like him, just go with the guy you like. And so we had 2 banks that landed up or wanting lender. And then if you guys don't, we have People's Financial. Yeah, People's Financial is an affiliate that we have that we get for you guys. Every single person is in here can use them. I make money when you use them, so use them. So I know, but all honesty, guys, I do make money when you guys use them, but don't use them. I tell you guys to go to, I don't need to make money. I don't need to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 off of you guys. In all honesty, guys, you guys will get better loans going through your own bank. Does that make sense? So I have it there if you guys need it. Truth be told, I'd say maybe 10% of our community uses my affiliate because the way we teach you guys, I don't give a shit if I make it doesn't move the needle for me if I make $1,000 from an affiliate, guys. I'm glad they give it to me. Cool. You know, it'll pay a light bill or something, I guess. But truth be told, guys, I'd rather you guys go in and secure a loan with a bank that's local that you guys have in your backyard. Does that make sense? Because you get better terms. You guys will be able to go in and do more business with them. It's more money in your pockets. Does that make sense?
Yes,
My lender's a little bit more expensive, but they'll get you done. Okay?
Did you say that
Or a
you have
credit
to buy
union over a bank. Credit union over a bank.
It doesn't matter. Terms win. Terms win. Doesn't matter if it's a small community bank or a credit union. Terms win.
She asked, do you have to own the land prior to going?
No. So I'm going to talk about that right now, okay? Because the land is going to be your first draw, okay? And like with Heath, we just did a delayed close. It was a 60-day close. It took us about that long to get through it. Now, what ends up happening, guys, is sometimes it doesn't line up perfect. But if you're communicating with the broker and the seller, a lot of times they'll work with you. 90% of the times they'll work with you. If they know that you're not bullshitting them and you're going to get to the closing line, all you have, it's a matter of communication, right? You have to keep the lifeline of communication going. So if you're going in to get a construction loan, what I'll do is I'll send an email with all my architectural plans, say, hey, we're almost there. Our architectural plans are done. We're in plan review. My lenders are working on stuff. And I'll just send it over to the broker and say, we're moving along. Hey, but we're going to need an extra 20 days, 30 days to be able to close on the loan. All right. And 99% of the time, they'll just work with you. That's what we do with Heath. I'm doing that with my camera guy now, guys. This guy's got like chills going up my back. There's this kid, Alec, man. He started working with me at 21 years old. I haven't been harder on anybody that's worked for me than Alec. And the reason why is because he was just young and stupid as shit when he started working with me. That truth be told. And God bless Alec's heart, man. He's building a house right now. He's 29 years old. He's a father of 2. He's married. And the other day I looked at him like about 2 months ago. I said, bro, I go, you've been behind the camera for the last 6.5, 7 years. I said, when are you gonna build a house? He goes, I don't know. I go, we were on Saturday, we were recording at my house. I said, how much do you owe on your home? Alec, he goes, $305,000. I said, how much did you pay for it? He goes, $380,000. And I said, and I go, you paid $380,000, do you think it's worth about $400,000? Because he's owned it for about 3.5 years. He goes, yeah, probably about that. And I said, well, how would it improve your life if we just paid off your loan in the next 12 to 24 months? Alec, I go, how would that improve your life? And I thought about it from my brother-in-law's perspective. So I want you guys to think about this for a second. My brother-in-law has been my brother-in-law for 27 years, guys. Oh no, 25 years. But I've known him for 27 years. 27 years ago, when I was dating my wife and he was dating her sister, he ended up doing a little fix and flip. And then he's built 5 homes in 27 years, guys. And over the last 27 years, guys, he hasn't had a mortgage payment for 20 years. And they've been able to live the same lifestyle my wife and I live because they don't have no freaking bills. 5 homes, guys. He's been mortgage-free, car payment-free for 20 plus years because all he's built over his career is 5 homes, and he works for a nonprofit organization. He's a director for a nonprofit organization. He maybe makes $120,000 a year, maybe. My sister-in-law, she works for the university, and she's a director and dean of students at the university, making probably, I don't know what they make, maybe 120 grand a year. So maybe together they make about 240 grand a year, so they do well. But they've had no mortgage payment for 20 years because they've built 5 homes over their lifetime. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's life transformation. Okay, now let's get back on track here real quick. You guys have 5 more minutes in you, yeah?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
You guys learning anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now $450,000 house, okay? $450,000 DR Horton home. Let's say that house is only 2,200 square feet, okay? So let's say it's 2,200 square feet. Now, if we go in, what is 15%? Let's only pay 15% for our land. What's 15% of 450,000? What is it? 67?
Yeah.
We can't afford to pay that, so let's just pay 50 for our land. Okay? You have to find a land. Okay, the lowest end, our 15%, guys, you won't be able to afford to pay it. Follow me here. Okay? $67,000 for the land. You can only pay $50,000 for the land. I'm just telling you that. Because the build will not afford a $67,000 lot. It won't. Okay? So you can only pay $50,000 for the land. That's why DR Horton and these guys buy a bunch of land and they subdivide it themselves, guys. When they buy it from somebody, they buy it from people like me that have sold to them before. Okay? How do I know that? How do I know that?
You know that, but according to this.
I'm teaching you it right now. That's how you're going to know it. Because I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show you why right now. And the reason I know it is because I've been doing this my whole life. But I'm going to explain to you right now how I know that. You're not going to be interested in this business model anyways. Okay? Just know that. Okay? So let's say 2,200 square feet. Let's say that we build at $140 a square foot on the national average. In fact, let's just say we build it at $135 a square foot because you're going to have to. Okay? So let's do $135 a square foot. So we take $135 a square foot. And what is that number times 2,200 square feet? 297? $297,000. Okay, that's your build cost. Okay, now your lending is going to be about 20 grand for your debt service, and then $450,000 times 6%, guys. $37,000. 27. How much? 27,000. Okay, 27,000. Okay, now this is our 27K. This is our closing cost. Okay, what is this added up to, guys? So we have 350, 370, 397, 394,000, 394. Okay, so 394K. Okay. Okay, this is our total cost. It's $394,000. Okay, now we have $394,000 in expenses here, guys. 394. Okay, minus that from 450. What's our profit?
56,000.
56.
Yes.
56K profit. Same amount of work, guys. You're going to make 56,000 or 223,000.
Do you ever calculate mortgage?
Okay, but hold on. Let me explain this real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Now, no, you're going to build that shit right. Okay, I won't let you do that. Okay, $56,000. Okay, so 56K is your profit. Now, we go do this exact same thing right here. We're gonna underwrite one, we need $394,000. This is your execution cost, $394, okay? Because we need to pay for the land, right? That $50,000 on that discounted land that we got, $394,000. Now over here, we know the house is $450, we're gonna underwrite at $450. Now, if we take 75% of $450, what's 75% of $450, guys?
337.5.
$337.5?
Yeah.
337, what's 80% of it? Let's get a better loan. Let's get a better loan. What's 80% of 450?
360.
360? Okay, okay, so now we need 394, so that's a deficit of $34,000. Okay, 34,000, okay? Guess who has to come up with that $34,000? You do. Now, you have your debt service. Guess who has to come up with this other $20,000 in debt service for interest reserve? You do. So now you have another negative 20K. So you have to come up with $54,000, 54K out of
To
pocket.
make
This is your out of pocket. Okay? You have $54,000 you have to come up with on this $450,000 bill, but on this bill right here, they're giving you surplus, guys. You know why? Because the banks are looking at the asset, not you. How many of you guys have an 800 credit score? I don't know how you get that. I've never had an 800 credit score in my entire life. I use and abuse my credit, man. I just got to leave that my credit just dropped 24 points. You know, I was like, shit, man. I don't think, I mean, I use and abuse. I use my credit like a stolen car, man. I beat the shit out of it, you know? And so I've never had an 800 credit score. I don't even know how you get one. So I'll tell you guys, it doesn't matter if you didn't have an 800 credit score. You're not going to go, hey, Mr. Banker, Mr. Banker, Mr. Banker, I'm $54,000 short. Will you give me the money? Guess what the answer's going to be? No go. You know why fix and flipping so hard, guys? You guys are hitting that market. You have to come out of pocket on that stuff because they're looking at the asset. When they're looking at this right here, guys, they're looking at this. What's the value of the asset, guys? The bank is all asset-based. They're looking at comps. They're looking at the asset. They don't give a shit about your 800 credit score. They don't give a shit about you. What they're looking at is what's protecting their money. Because if you walk out these doors and get hit by a Mack truck, they want to know their money's protected. Make sense? Yes. You're not protecting their money. All you're doing is writing a check. They're looking at the asset. The reason they're not going to give you that is because it's too high risk for the bank. It's $450K is too small. If there's not enough profit for the bank, why are you okay with it? Why do you want to go out and play it safe? That's not safe to the bank. Why is it safe to you? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Stop thinking safe, guys. It's not safe. Okay? Safe is right here, guys. Safe is bigger. I didn't learn this until I was already in my 40s. When I stopped playing it safe, I used to call it my sweet spot business model. I was doing these $8 million bills all the way until 2016. And then in 2016, I went from these $8 million bills to $50 million bills, like literally overnight. And I made way safer to do a $50 million bill than an $8 million bill. Make sense? Okay? Because multifamily works the exact same way. Okay? Now, when you guys go in and do this, guys, if you don't want to come in, the reason that the bank's been asking you guys for money is because the projects you guys are working on, they don't afford themselves. Does that make sense? Everything is asset-based. Okay? And look what I did. Look how I had to stress this. I had to go 135 square foot. Think about how much more stress this is. You have to manage those numbers to be able to push this. All you're doing is negotiating with all your subs. Your subs hate you because every time you call them, you're asking them for a discount because you have to make a profit. You're always negotiating with them. They're sick and tired of you. And then you go in, you can't find the land. The land you can't find with utility and stuff is just too inexpensive. There's no $50,000 lots anywhere. Where do you get a good premium lot in a good area to build a $450,000 house? Right? I'd rather go out and spend $200,000, $180,000 on a lot. Go build a $900,000. Shit, go spend $200,000 and make $203,000. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Guys, why is this important, guys? Because the second line item right here, the second you start building, guys, the second line item right here is going to be this cost right here for your soft costs. I'm going to withdraw that money from my expenses on my spreadsheet, and and I'm gonna go out and retain a lot on house number 2.
Yes.
The second that I get my permits and I get my loan, I'm gonna withdraw the money, the $15,000 that I have in, I'm gonna replace 100% of it. So if I put it on a credit card, if I have a hard money lender like the Prime Corporate Services, which we have is our affiliate, you can go out, pay that high interest loan off, put it down to 0, and now you start the process all over again with house number 2. Does that make sense? Now you build that house. Second you cash in on that, guess what you're doing? You're starting your second house. It's already permit ready. Makes sense? You're not waiting. That's how you create a business, guys. Why do we do these workshops? Because on Saturday, we teach you guys how to underwrite these assets. That morning, on Saturday morning, on the 27th, we're gonna go through residential underwriting. By the time you guys leave, that spreadsheet, guys, this spreadsheet, you guys will know this shit inside and out. You guys will have this electronically and a hard copy. We're gonna go through this. I'm gonna show you guys how to utilize this spreadsheet to understand how to get money for yourselves, how to replace your capital, how to go in and be able to leverage it so you guys can scale. In the afternoon, we're gonna go over multifamily. How many of you guys are interested in multifamily? Okay, multifamily works the exact same way as residential. There's just a little bit more offsite expenses. The money in multifamily right now, guys, is not in the big stuff. I'm building the big stuff right now, literally for free. The money is in the small stuff, like my Taylor Street project and my little 30 unit over on Taylor Street, downtown Phoenix. The one that I'm doing in Bernalillo, New Mexico, it's a 31 unit development. That's where the money is the 8 unit, the 10 unit, the 12 unit stuff. Okay, that's where it's at. Now, guys, here's the thing, guys. I don't need you guys to show up to the workshop. We had 250 seats. We sold out of them, guys. And so about 2 weeks ago, when we were down in Florida, I called my assistant Esther, and I said, Esther, call the Hilton down in Miami and ask them if they have a slightly bigger venue. We went from a 5,000 square foot venue to a 7,000 square foot venue. And I told them, we're going to need 7,000 square feet, and we need to make sure they can host us. And they said yes. We went ahead and scaled it up so we can get 300 people in there. And then I cut it off at 300 guys because the workshops are a lot more intimate. I've never done a workshop at 300. I've always halted them at 250. We just started marketing 30 days earlier, so we sold out of tickets. So it's not a matter of me marketing tickets to you guys. I don't give a shit if you guys go. You have to go for you. Does that make sense? The seats will be still filled whether you guys go or not. It doesn't matter to me. The biggest thing is I'm inviting you guys to go as an investment of time into yourselves. Does that make sense? Now, the tickets are $797. The only way you can get a ticket is to come to one of these meetups. We don't market them online. You'll never see an ad for them online. You'll never see them. The reason why is because if I market them for like 1 week, they're sold out. And then I have a bunch of randoms that I don't know. To get a higher quality, higher caliber person, you guys woke up early. You guys called in to work. You guys made the time to be here today. Does that make sense? So one thing I know about you guys is that you guys are vested in your futures because you're here. Does that make sense? So just by being here today tells me that you're a better, higher quality person that feels like you're worth investing in, or you wouldn't have come and sat your ass in a chair for 2 hours today, would you?